Have you ever asked yourself why it is that every screen comes out blue? They don't have red. You actually have to put software in to change it. There's a reason, my friend. Do you understand the game that's going on? They're dumbing you down. Why is it that every tech company has blue lit screens? I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's because that's how DARPA wants it. That way you can be programmed further. So, wow. Oh no, it's even more wow than that. You haven't even got to the wow stage.
This is Dr. Jack Cruz, a neurosurgeon. In a recent podcast with Danny Jones, he made some controversial statements. Pay attention because the connections he makes are truly mind-blowing.
I pay attention to all of the families of the big Silicon Valley people. Why? Because they are all tied to MK Ultra 4.0, 5.0. Every single one of them. And there's a reason they follow the rules of the industrial military complex, because they're designed to do that. And guess what? They get that training at the universities that they went. Stanford, Harvard.
There is a hidden connection between Silicon Valley, the CIA's MK Ultra project, and Las Vegas, something you'd never expect. Watch this.
They get together and Mo says, I got an idea. Let's go build a casino in the desert. Everybody thinks he's crazy at first, okay? So they build Vegas. The first thing he did is he put one-armed bandits in all the casinos. He blue lit everything. Why? Because he paid attention to how people spent money. And he realized when you used artificial light, it seemed like people spent more money. So then what's the second thing he does in like 1952, 53? He starts painting all the windows in the casino black.
So you can't see outside.
Can't see outside, and he doesn't want to go outside.
The CIA decided they needed to find out more about mind control. They were curious if there was any real science behind these claims. At this point, MK Ultra was born. MK Ultra was a secret project, and it came from merging two main ideas. First, there was a group in Dallas interested in studying mind control. The second part came from a Nazi surgeon named Kurt Plotkin, who worked in 1937. Kurt believed it was possible to control people's minds using Mexican peyote, a cactus that causes hallucinations. He started experimenting with this, and the CIA took an interest. The CIA also began studying other methods, such as the effect of lights and wireless signals, to see if they could control or influence people. Eventually, they hired a man named Sidney Gottlieb to run the MK Ultra program. Gottlieb led the project from 1950 to 1953 and perhaps even longer, until 1964.
So all this information from the CIA and FBI are transferred into DARPA. DARPA then takes it the next level. They go and they hire a guy in New Orleans. I told you we'd eventually come back to New Orleans. A guy named Alton Ostner. He's first an FBI asset as a surgeon, but then he becomes a CIA asset because of this issue here. They go and hire a PhD researcher named Delgado.
Dr. Jose Delgado was a Spanish neuroscientist who developed the Stemoceiver, a device to stimulate and control brain activity wirelessly. He famously stopped the charging bull using this technology, highlighting the potential to influence behavior.
And they start putting wires into the bull's head to find out, can they stop and control the bull using electric signals? Why? Because they already have started to learn about Becker's work. So now this is the idea. Now they're trying to execute. They're trying to use this as a weapon.
They were able to control the bull's behavior using wires connected to the brain. Specifically, they could stop the bull from attacking the matador at the crucial moment. Seeing the success of this wireless method, they wanted to see if it was possible to do the same thing without any physical wires, essentially using wireless technology to control the bull remotely.
They had all the patents and everything they stole from Tesla. They also had all Marconi's work. At this same time, remember, Motorola is now one of the guys that's the industrial military company. They know that wireless telephony is actually coming. So they decide to employ it here first.
Delgado discovered it was indeed possible to control the animal's behavior without using wires. He realized that they didn't need to perform brain surgery to implant any devices in the animal's brain. Instead, they found a way to control the animal without any direct physical connection or invasive procedures. This was a significant breakthrough because it showed that brain activity could be influenced remotely without needing to implant anything inside the brain.
But this was the key step. This is the step where I think your audience, people find it incredulous when I tell them the next step was, could you do this using light and light alone? And it turns out they found out you could. If you use blue light specifically, it actually destroys the dopamine reward tracks in your brain. Just so you know, Meta and Google today own those patents.
They found the way to deliver blue light through screens, perfecting the method of getting blue light into people's eyes using this technology. In the 1950s and 60s, IBM was the big tech company working on this kind of technology. They were developing liquid crystal displays, LCDs, even back then, though these screens didn't become common for the public until the 1990s. Later on, during the Obama administration, the shift from analog to digital TV further promoted the use of LCD screens, which are known to deliver blue light. Obama also pushed to ban incandescent bulbs, leading to the use of new lighting that could also emit blue light.
Incandescent bulbs not only have fake blue light, but they also have purple and red, which is what you need as the antidote to blue. You probably remember when you were a little kid, you touched the incandescent bulb, it's hot as
Yeah.
Well, the proxy that they're using to you is, they burn too much energy because they have UV light and red light in it, and that makes heat. So therefore, we should get rid of that, do blue. But you have no idea that DARPA already want blue light everywhere so they can control you with it. That's the real answer behind this whole program.
According to Dr. Jack Kruse, infrared light is very important for the brain, while blue light has a negative impact. He explains that red and infrared light can be beneficial, especially in brain surgery. There are panels you can buy that emit infrared light, but for surgery, more specific types are needed. Infrared A, ranging from 600 to 1000 nanometers, is essential, but near-infrared light is even more crucial because it penetrates deeper into the brain. He also found that a photo switch in the brain can be activated using 1280 nanometer light, particularly when paired with 380 nanometer light. This combination helps trigger beneficial responses in the brain, aiding the surgery.
That photo switch is actually important with 380 nanometer light. That's actually the big control switch between anabolic and catabolic metabolism. And what does that effectively mean? When you use those specific frequencies of light, you can optimize metabolism while the patient's asleep. So if any of my anesthesiologist listens to this and they want to know why I was doing what I did, I never told anybody what I was doing because I was always afraid I'd wind up in front of the medical board. But I was guaranteeing that people would wake up from anesthesia like this, because I knew that was one of the big risks, that we need to have people recover fast. And it turns out if you understand the two photo switches for metabolism, which is 380 nanometer light, that controls the mTOR switch. 1280 light controls the free radical switch.
Dr. Kruse says that the body manages energy at the cellular level, specifically focusing on the balance between using ATP, the main energy molecule, and dealing with free radicals. Most people don't understand this balance because they aren't familiar with mitochondrial medicine. Nitric oxide, he explains, is a free radical, which means it has an unpaired electron. When nitric oxide gets into the mitochondria, the cell's powerhouses, it actually stops ATP production. Many doctors think that ATP is always needed for energy, but Kruse says that's not entirely true. When we're exposed to sunlight, our bodies reduce ATP production. Instead, we start to rely on the sun's energy more directly. This happens because sunlight helps to energize the water in our blood plasma, which is 93% water. He explains that one of his foundational principles is about how light, water, and magnetism all interact in the body. When cells are able to store more light energy in their water networks,